The challenges in delivering green investment throughout the world, including developing countries, are immense. First of all, there's got to be the amount of money, and at the moment that amount of money doesn't seem to be on the table or available, and that needs serious policy change. New Energy Finance estimates about $500 billion per year. That's a lot of money. It's going to come from the private sector, and if the private sector is going to be part of making that money flow, then I think their voice needs to be heard, and I think they're a terribly important part of the solution. There's got to be the investment programs and projects that are actually worth investing in. There's got to be the management and governance so that it's actually spent well, and there's the capacity in developing countries to use that money effectively in delivering outcomes. So at each of those stages there's a huge gap which policy plays an important role in addressing, but in the end it'll be private money and private entrepreneurship that's going to provide the answers. Before now, we've seen that the investors' role on climate change has been extremely niche. It's been small scale, it's been marginal, and it hasn't affected the mainstream very much. I think we're now at the transition where the climate change is becoming so important, and that the flows of money are going to be so large, and that the opportunities are going to be so large, that they're going to become an increasingly important part of the debate. The key thing I take away from this conference is a concern and an optimism about the opportunity, because I think the concern is that the investor voice is not being heard in the policy process, which is trying to deliver big carbon cuts as an outcome. They're just not being heard. And yet, I sense that there is an increasing interest in the investment community actually being a part of that, because their perspective is so important in determining whether we actually make these enormous carbon cuts that are going to be so necessary for the survival of the planet and civilization as we know it. So on the one hand there's a threat, but there's also a tremendous opportunity for those in the investment community to be part of that answer.